Hey everyone, this is Patrick, and it is time for the end of year videos. I am excited to watch a lot of people's videos this year. There's a lot of amazing YouTube channels and eclectic taste, sophisticated taste, just people who know everything. Therefore, you know that the list they're going to make are something to pay attention to. Uh, and then then there's me, right? So I'm going to do a top 5 favorite EPs of 2023 video right now. I do plan on doing sort of a runners-up list with a colleague, with a fellow YouTuber, and hopefully that does come to fruition, and if so, I'll let you all know in a community post, and we'll both let you know that the video has been recorded, and you'll see it when it's published. So I'm not going to give any runners up right now, but there are going to be some more EPs, demos, comps, and splits that I talk about, just not right now. So this is going to be my top 5 favorite EPs of 2023. We are listening to my favorite EP of last year. This is Jesus Wept with Psychedelic Degeneracy. They have a split out this year, and I am looking forward to their next release as well. I hope it is a full length. Jesus Wept kind of play like a Carcass style death metal, as you'll hear in the background. Let's begin. So my number 5 favorite EP of the year is this little bad boy right here. This is Ascendancy with a manifest of Imperious Destiny out in Misako Unoho Records. 4 tracks, 28 minutes of music. This came out in June, and Ascendancy is a black metal project, and it features members that you will be familiar with if you at all are paying attention and enjoying underground metal right now. So they're from Denmark, which means we have Simon here, who does guitars and vocalist and bass, and Ascendancy, he does guitars and vocals. And Frenolith, we have Matthias, he does guitars and vocals in Hyperdontia and Sulphurous. And we have Uger, drummer, he's the drummer in Taphos as well. So yeah, really dark. The guitars are mostly like entirely tremolo picked. Cool, dark, moody, atmospheric, yet riffy if you allow tremolo style riffs to be considered riffy. But spacious, longer songs. 28 minutes, it leaves me with that feeling that I'm satisfied. I don't need more songs. I want to hear more from Ascendancy, but this is a really good package of songs here. Ascendancy's themes are going to be military, sort of the history of power. The history of power. They study power, hence the name, A Manifest of Imperious Destiny. You can imagine some medieval, late modern, even modern leaders putting this on and getting motivated to go be an imperialist asshole somewhere around the world, right? Ascendancy, black metal, the only black metal album on this list. Very good. Check out Ascendancy if you're into those bands playing a more black metal style of music. So, next up is a band that is hard to describe. I have described them before. Portrayal of Guilt Devil Music. This is, obviously an EP that came out this year. Killer, nightmarish stuff here. We got Matt on guitars and vocals, Blake on bass, and James on drums. Seen them live before. I say they're one of the best live bands that I've seen recently, and this takes away from not the this is not to take away from any of the other members of the band, but James, the drummer, is world class, and it was really amazing to see front row right by the drums, essentially in this little bar that they played at called the Sinkhole. Amazing. So this is cool because side A is the EP, basically 5 tracks, and then side B is those same songs, but they're done. They're they're classical renditions, including bass, cello, and you still have Matt, doing his vocals over, classical renditions of these songs. And man, it's really cool to hear. The style on this EP is blackened post-hardcore with some grind elements. That's mostly their sound throughout their career, but I really like how grindy, how metal, this is metal-ish this album is, even though they are mostly still basically a post-hardcore band. Didn't write down how long this was, but I think it's around 10 tracks, 31 minutes of music. That is my number 4 favorite EP of 2023. And these next 3 were really hard to sort of These next 3 were really hard to rank. So, Undergang put out an EP this year, and I'm not going to try to pronounce it. I think it stands for the 7 stages of decomposition or dying or decay. The artwork is killer. Undergang from Denmark. 7 tracks, 21 minutes of music. David on guitars and vocals. Anders on drums. Martin on bass. And Mads on lead guitar. They give you what you're expecting. Really cool song variation, some doomy parts, but a lot of their more faster, short songs on this album, similar to their Misanthropology album, and just killer stuff from Undergang. Forgot which member. I think it might be the bass player. There's some background vocals on this album that adds to the variety that you don't often hear in Undergang vocal performances by David. Undergang, I'm basically an Undergang completist at this point because everything they put out is amazing, and I really like this EP. Up next, number 2, let's keep the same people going, essentially. This is Hyperdontia with Deranged. International band. This is out on Misako Un Oho, and you get 4 tracks, 17 minutes of music, and cool back photo with cool border art there. So Matthias, I already brought up, he does guitars and vocals in Ascendancy, he does guitars and vocals in Hyperdontia. Mustafa does lead guitars in Hyperdontia, does lead guitars in Diabolizer. Malik, bassist here, does bass in Diabolizer. This is my favorite stuff from Hyperdontia, so it's hard not to put it this high because it's my favorite stuff from them. They do a lot of thrashy transitions, and I just love the songwriting. This is peak modern death metal songwriting right here. Nothing modern in the sense of they're not pulling anything that you would have not heard already on death metal albums, by 1990. But this is just, you can tell they're students of the history of the genre that they play in, and that's really cool. Hyperdontia Deranged is my number 2 EP of 2023. My number 1, and I didn't try to overthink what was my number 1. It's gotta be this. Lunar Chamber with Shambolic Vibrations. This band has been around for a little bit, I think 2018, but this is their first release. 5 tracks, almost 29 minutes of music. This is progressive death metal, some doom elements in this sound as well. The last song is my favorite song, but this just really flows well. If you like stuff by Void Ceremony, you're definitely gonna want to check out Lunar Chamber. Heavy stuff, technical, colorful, very vibrant, just music to my ears, and enough to be my #1 EP of the year. I will also mention that Lunar Chamber are a 3-piece. They Who May Not Be Perceived does guitars and vocals. He also is in the band Tamarum. Then you have Time Worn Nexus, who does guitars and vocals here, and also guitars and vocals in Tamarum. Ether Lotus does fretless bass here, and I don't know who does drums. Yeah, I think it was a session drummer. I know it's an actual person though, and not a machine. Yeah, this says K Paradis on drums. Colin Marston mastered this album. Just killer stuff here. Here's the band. Can't wait for what they put out next. There's some clean vocals on here and they work well. There's some symphonic synth elements. Killer performances all around. Yep. Gotta say, Lunar Chamber, my favorite EP of 2023. Short and sweet. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you can hear and enjoy Jesus Wept in the back. And yeah, look forward to talking to you all in the comments. Look forward to watching my fellow YouTubers' videos as well. And of course, this must be said, do not forget, remember to stay heavy.